Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork, and today's video we'll be talking about Disney's Twisted Wonderland. It's going to be an interesting flip on Disney villains are in like this sort of academy. Their sons or what have you, their predecessors are going to be in this area where they sort of, interact with each other. And it's kind of interesting. Right now we're going through the first initial reroll, and I'll be talking about my first impressions, reroll guides, tier list at the very end. But as you can see here, this is going to be the tutorial tenfold. What you can essentially do here is, I'm going to roll for XYZ character, or I can keep re-rolling until I get the desired characters that I want. So here's going to be some of the summon animations. It's the mirror on the wall, bearer of dark powers, I call thee forth, and then it'll essentially summon, the 10 different characters individually. I really like this sort of thing because it puts a spin on like how summons would be technically in this sort of format. And as you can see, this is going to be our first summon, Ortho Shroud. He's going to be like with Hades sort of group, or he's one of like the more weeaboo. I don't know how you sort of say this. His house is like the ones where I would be like the shut-in sort of like closet, like talkative sort of person. And then this one's going to be Scar, animalistic, Lion King sort of inspired characters. This one is going to be based off of Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty, right? That's where it sort of comes from. And there's a lot of interesting different characters. Diasimonia, they're sort of based off of dragons, and it's very interesting. Just know all of the characters, they are male. So in case you think anyone is female, they are not. They are all male. So they're all kind of like gender bendery in their own way. So don't fall for the traps and stuff in this game. But if you do, it is what it is at the end of the day. But this game's sort of playing on that fact. We got Ruggy Bucci from Scar's faction. And just note, when you're doing like these free 10 rolls right here at the very beginning, you're sort of guaranteed an SSR, Jack Howell in his sort of laboratory outfits. And there's a lot of different characters. I would say roughly at least like 15 different. This is our SSR, Deuce Spade right here. And they have like a little moment where it's like, hey, who are you as a character? Sort of talk to you. Alice in Wonderland sort of tropey characters because it plays like on all the different Ace, King, Spade. And then we have like Octavinelle, I think I'm saying that right, from Little Mermaid. All of them, they have like their unique personalities. Think of it as like your tropey, like Japanese sort of characters where you have like your mischievous one, the flirty one, the rambunctious one, the one that's like always like into a fight. And then here's gonna be the next character, our SSR right here, Trey from Alice in Wonderland sort of scenario. The ones that I'm looking for right now is either the one that resembles Scar or someone from Alice in Wonderland sort of community, the main characters. And as you can see, they have like all these different outfits and stuff. Pretty interesting game. It was kind of surprising like the way I sort of played it because it's both a rhythm game and also like a turn-based RPG. So this is one of the characters I was looking for. Riddle, this is going to be the Alice in Wonderland sort of Queen of Hearts character, or should I say King of Hearts. But let's go ahead and keep rolling. I'll show you the other character that I wanted to aim for, and I'll show off the tier list as well. This is gonna be the other character, Jack, for this universe. I'm looking for Scar's son. I'm forgetting his name. If we can get him. Man, I should have just kept the one with like Queen of Hearts. But as you can see, the reroll for this part of the game is pretty quick. The other way to reroll is you get the character that you want from this section, you get 300 gems, and then you can commit another 10 roll. I keep getting like the character that I would actually need, but not the characters that I want to show off. At least give me like rare version of that character. Do I see him? So we didn't get the character we wanted, but this is going to be him. It's going to be Leona. That's going to be like the main character that's sort of in Scar's faction. If you get the SSR version of him, then you should definitely keep it as well. It's pretty good. But this is going to be the best sort of character that you can reroll for. And honestly, I love how this character, Riddle, he's sort of like pompous, sort of like the Queen of Hearts in some way. And it really resembles like the personalities and in-betweens for everyone. So I'm going to keep this 10 roll because I kind of want to show you what this gameplay is all about. So we're going through the first day of school, slight spoilers, and Grim is going to be the guest character, or the character that you can essentially control. And then you're going to have your auto team. It's going to be unspecified. It's going to be balanced. So, auto set the team. Honestly, Leona is like my favorite character in the game, or Leon, however way you want to call him. You're like in this haunted house sort of deal, and the voice acting is really good for this game. I actually like it quite a bit. It's very atmospheric in the sense of how does this person actually sound. I think the main antagonist, he's kind of quiet, but he makes like some sounds and stuff. And then I guess we're going through like, sort of like this battle phase. And just note, you can set things on auto if you want to, or you can, sort of pick which characters would go. So for example, you'd be like, I want these two characters to essentially attack since they have the up arrows, which means they're going to deal more damage. And you can see there's like the battle sequence. It's just it's an okay game. I think it's pretty interesting on these aspects. You could probably turn on auto and like 2 times and the AI should be smart enough to essentially go through things, especially since, a lot of the characters, they deal pretty decent attacks and it's only the beginning of the game. I'm pretty sure you can like get more technical because there are attack characters, defense characters, there's different types. But honestly, my favorite types are like, when you get into sort of like the rhythm sort of format. I will say like the graphics sort of remind me of this Kingdom Hearts mobile game that initially released. I really think this game shines where you can actually listen to the story and get like a feel for the different characters. This is sort of one where it's like heavily driven by the fact of like, the different characters that you interact with. This guy, he's kind of weird. He's like our dorm room, like sort of teacher guy, and he like found us and you're sort of stuck in this world where you don't belong, but you have a very key affinity with Grim, the little cat that you saw earlier. And you'll probably have a key affinity with all the different characters. Just note, you don't have any magical powers, and everyone has magical powers in this sort of scenario. And Grim is actually a pretty, the cat-looking dude is a strong mage, as you can see. After we clean the library, we can study, or after we study, we can clean, or after we clean, we can study. Something like that. But the most important part is that you're essentially hired janitors for like this sort of story. It's really interesting. I thought we were going to be students, but yeah, I think it's a pretty fun game overall. It's not something that'll be groundbreaking, but it's definitely something that you can sort of like fall in love with because all the characters have like their own sort of unique personality. As you can see, there's launch celebrations and stuff in case you want to get all the gemmies and stuff. And then there's Leona right there. I'm trying to look for, is this the gift box? Do we have any like pre-registration stuff? We have like 110 like sort of gemmies available to us, but that's not going to be enough to summon anything. We have some missions that we completed over here, so we can just claim all. Yeah, overall, I like this game quite a bit, mostly for its story. Let's go ahead. I'm pretty sure lessons are going to be like, hey, you can increase player lengths. There's 3 types of lessons. So that is pretty cool. I guess you can like study certain things. And I want to get to know Riddle, heavy hitter of like this sort of game. He's like the strongest character, quote unquote. And I guess you can sort of meet all the different characters. Go ahead and skip. Okay. I just want to see, okay, you get like some gems and stuff. I guess that's one way you can sort of watch his stories in case you're like, hey, how do things sort of flow in this game? But I want to show one more aspect to the gameplay. In case you guys are sort of wondering how that was like, oh, I guess there's like also a daily function as well that you can sort of complete with the different characters. Next. Let's go ahead and see how this sort of starts. So we'll select dudes here, and then this will be our buddy. We'll start just so we can sort of see what's going on here. And you can see it's using a different form of stamina, and we're studying alchemy today. Wait, how do we know what we're doing? Do we just like click them? This is different from the sample. Auto. So, all right. I think auto is better than me. I have no idea what I'm doing right here in the game. I think this is just generating like some sort of good. Completed this. That was kind of interesting. We completed our alchemy lesson. Now we have rank 2 increase, max friends and LP increases as well. We got some alchemy tokens. I guess that's something that you could do throughout the day, and you have a bunch of currency left over for that. Back into this, go into stories, and then go over here into the main story, and then jump over into not this section of the game. I just wanted to show like the music sort of area. This is going to be one of the stories as you go through it. A move and struggle. They're like sort of moving into the dorm and getting into an argument with some of the ghosties. I won't really explain it. I'll let you guys sort of go through it. I like the story quite a bit, and as you can see, the challenge is pretty easy for this one. So as you can see here, you are just sort of selecting different parts of like the screen, and as what's happening here is like there's essentially a song playing. It's the rhythm based sort of aspects going on here. It's really simple. It was kind of surprising because I didn't see it sort of coming. I thought this game was like going to be a pure RPG, but then it included like this sort of rhythm aspect to it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And the actual rhythm it feels pretty good. Like when I was getting everything perfect and sort of listening to the song, I thought it was going to be terrible, like it wasn't going to feel right, but it was really smooth, and it was just an enjoyable sort of experience, especially on the phone. I don't think this works on emulators because of the way it's like sort of handled, I guess. Who is this game sort of for? For someone who wants to get more familiar with the Disney husbandos in a sort of different format. You sort of the Disney lore, you like cool shonen sort of aspects to it. I think that's where this is sort of geared towards. Obviously, there's no waifus and stuff. Everyone is a husbando, and you sort of like that sort of deal. Then I think this is definitely for you. This isn't a game for everyone, I think. It's one of those where it's like, oh, I guess I sort of like this sort of thing. I personally surprisingly liked it. I'm not sure why there's lower scores on the Play Store. I think it has something to do with the fact that it's not exactly out when it was supposed to be out, but I enjoyed myself in this game. And really quick, here are going to be the tier list. As you can see, Riddle is going to be number 1, Azul not available during the rerolls, and then Leona, the Scar as sort of characters, and here's going to be some other characters. And just note, the ones right here, these are limited characters, so there are going to be limited banners. The husbando that I used at the screenshot, in case you guys were sort of wondering, there is going to be Idea right here. My favorite sort of anime trope-esque sort of character. And then here's going to be some tips on how to reroll. You know, go install the twists, advanced tutorial, and then carefully select the SSR character, finish tutorial, and collect up to 300 gems, and then pretty much do Resemera training and aiming for 2 SSRs essentially. That's going to be the ideal reroll. And yeah, you can also just delete like the cache apparently from the JP version to complete the rerolls, but it's up to you whether you want to do that. These are my first impressions for Disney Twisted Wonderland. I kind of enjoy the characters, I enjoyed the story. I know this game isn't for everyone, especially since there's no waifus and stuff. I think this game is going to be a surprise hit for certain people, especially if you enjoy the story, because the storytelling is pretty good, the voice acting is top tier. I say the animations are pretty top tier in its own right. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 30,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day. Hopefully this helps you out, and see you guys in the next one.